Hey everyone, it's now Tuesday after work, after supper. I'm not sure about the date, so I went to Princess Auto a week ago and bought a motor for my son's Dingo. We're gonna give that a change here. They had the Power Fist motors on sale for $119. They're 6.5 horse. I put one on hold and I got walking around and I seen these ones on the shelf. They're marked down for $330 to $220. And then I just went around the corner and they were on sale for $132, marked down from $220 or $230, where the hell it was. So I said, there's no way I'm putting a Power Fist clone in there. This is supposed to be a 8-horse Briggs. So we're gonna mount that bad boy on the kids' Dingo because they're bugging the crap out of me. You think they'd want me to get this tank done first, but anyway, that's another story. A little update on that. I haven't been able to touch it this week because of birthday parties and other family stuff, but I was gonna buy a body ram or power ram at Princess Auto for $149, but my cousin, I should say, has this one, so we're gonna stretch those motor mounts out on the front of this so the bolt lines up in the hole it's supposed to go in. But that's another video. Hopefully I can get at that tomorrow night, if not tonight, later on, now that we have an extra hour of light. Anyway, first things first, let's get that old motor off there. Now this Dingo's been around the family for a very long time. I'm not sure what year they made it. Someone gave it to my cousin and his kids drove it for a long time. Then someone went wrong with the clutch. Then he gave it to my brother. He kind of fixed it and his kids drove it for a long time. And he gave it to me because the clutch was screwed up. And I did drive it for a little bit and burned a belt off. Anyway, it's got a Tecumseh 6.5 and it's got old Roddy gas. It's been sitting around for a long time. So this one here, my brother put a kill switch up here. So only thing I had to do is disconnect that. You can see right there. Maybe it had one originally. Anyway, get rid of that. We're going to take the throttle cable off, then take the 4 bolts out, and then we're going to have to position the new motor. I got a shorter belt, so I'm going to have to make new holes in the motor mounts so it'll fit on there so it's farther ahead. The new belt's too tight. Okay, let's go at her. Okay, so the last bolt was kind of hard to get at. I had to use a wrench under here. Anyway, spare you with the details. Out with the old, in with the new. Now the worst problem is it's probably not going to line up in the right spot, so I might have to drill some new holes, which I'm not looking forward to. Anyway, let's clean her up. I'm going to clean the deck up a little bit here and then see what we have to line up here. Now the reason why I'm switching motors like this is the old one, it went pretty good with it on, but and clearly it's not going to line up. Big time way out. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. The old one, the carburetor was finished. It was wore out so bad that it was barely even idle. Now it wouldn't be as simple just to slap that on there and away she goes. You can see we're way out of alignment. Oh, let's see what happens. It's got to come over quite a bit. Let me see if I can line it up first, see what's going to go on there. Okay, so the bolt hole is lined up. I just got it sitting there. The old motor has shims behind the clutch. You can see them there, so I probably have to put them back on. As you can see, I'm not lined up. Now I get lucky, the bolt hole's lined up, but this belt I have is too short. This is the only one Princess Auto carries. I may have to order one, or I'm gonna have to drill. There's the number there. It's too tight as far as I remember. Anyway, I'm gonna take the clutch apart. We're gonna stick it on and we'll see. I'll show you how tight it is. It's got to be a little bit loose or you're gonna burn it up, and that's what the problem was last time. Now I'm just gonna zing this clutch off. There's no other way I get that belt on there, well, that I know of anyway. I'm sure somebody else is gonna tell me. Now when I have this off, I'm gonna put the spacers behind. Now thanks to T-Man Go-Karts, by the way, for showing me how to clean this clutch up. I think it's still good. Now I'm going to shim this out where it's supposed to be, and I'm going to use the old shims. Anyway, we'll cut scene here and get right back to you with that. But now it says engine, this side to engine. It's asymmetric. I mean, it's got a flat and a beveled on this belt. So you can see it's already way too short by looking at it. Now, I need to move this motor. And it has to be fairly loose in there. I think I'd pry that son of a bitch on. That's what I did last time, but I couldn't stop. Maybe it'll be alright. I don't think so. Yeah, it's way too tight. I need to gain another inch out of my motor mounts. So it needs to give. So I'm gonna have to cut seam here and drill some holes, which I didn't want to have to do. It'll probably be easier to get a new belt, but anyway. So we're gonna put some shims in there too, and I'll see how many I need to bring that even with that. When you look down, I might have to use a square or string line, maybe that would work. Tight on the end, and then anyway, you get the idea. I'm gonna pull this back off, measure maybe an inch. I have to move the motor an inch that way. Okay, with the motor just freely sitting there, I'm gonna put this belt down here. I think an inch, or yeah, a good inch would do it. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how tight this is supposed to be, and I asked T-Man Go-Karts how tight, and he said, well, it shouldn't be too tight, but how tight is tight? This thing here is supposed to have a bushing on it to keep the belt from burning right here, but I don't have one of them yet. And imagine that if you have it loose like that, well, you need it. The problem is I don't know how tight it's supposed to be. Drilling new holes isn't going to be a problem. I'd like to drill slots in it so I could adjust it, and I may do that. I do have a cutter wheel here. Compressor's not real good for it, but I'm thinking that's probably good right there. So what I'm going to do is cut seam here. I'm going to mark this with something, and maybe mark it right here, and then take a T-square, draw a line straight across that way, and then draw one from the middle of this hole to the middle of the other hole. Now, if you guys can see that, we're in frame here. Yeah, okay. Draw from this hole to the other hole down the center, and that'll give me 4 holes marked out perfect. I don't think it should be any looser than that. That's probably good there, because when that clutch tightens up, that's going to pull it into this, change the gear ratio. Anyway, you guys get the, you know how it works, just like a skidoo. Alright, let's take the motor back off, and then I'm actually going to mark it here first where I think it's got to go. Hopefully it won't burn the belt off. Now, why don't I get the right belt? My brother tried years ago to get one, and he couldn't do it. All he could get is these shorter belts. Maybe now I can. I'm just going to go with this one, re-drill the holes, so I have to put a new motor on anyway, because just for the simple fact I get them at TSC. So next time I'm in there, I'll buy a couple spare belts. They're 20 bucks or something like that. Time you get them out of the States, you're paying a lot more. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much, but anyway. Okay, so I'm going to take my carpenter square, because I can't find my T-square anywhere. I'm just going to hold it along the edge, like so. Try to keep the holes lined up, because we don't want any misalignments. Anyway, guys, you get the idea. I'm going to mark it this way to get these 2 holes straight across. Now, and then I'm going to have to measure from here to here, and then make a mark there, and do the same thing. Now, you could even check it by going through the center. I'll do that after. Here to here, here. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm confusing myself. Anyway, mark it there, mark it there, and then take my square and get the center of each hole, just using it as a straight edge, and go this way, and then mark it this way. So you have an X. Then you'll take an awl or whatever, and then, or nail, whatever you got to mark it, peen it down so the drill has something to start into, all 4 holes. We'll go with that step in a minute. Now all I'm going to do is measure my holes distance apart, and then I'm going to transfer that mark up to there. Then I'm going to draw a straight edge across there again. Next step will be peening and then drilling. Okay, so there to there is 6 and almost half. Let's go here. I'll make a little scratch there. Okay, now we'll do our other line. Right there. A little mark. Like so. I'll come back with this monstrosity. I don't know if I can get it in there. This is interesting. Okay. Plan B. Okay. figure something out here, guys. I need a smaller straight edge. Alright, improvise. Now it don't go all the way across, but I can hold it. I'm going to eyeball it. Now if I drill these holes bigger than 5/16, that's what the bolts are using. Maybe go to 3/8, I'll have a little bit of sloppiness. I should be able to adjust the motor where I want it. Hopefully. It doesn't look right on, but get the idea. Anyway, so next up, let's take my straight edge and mark, put it right through the center of both those holes, somewhere there, and mark that way. And if you do this right, the motor should be lined right up. Well, as close as it can be anyway. Well, the truth will tell when if it doesn't burn any belts out of it. Now, to find my drill bits and my drill. This could take a while. Now, don't laugh. All I could find was a spike and a hammer, and I can't blame the kids because they're never in my garage. Yet. But they will be. I got to peen 4 holes here, and then we're going to drill them out. Okay, now I find my drill bit. I found 9 30-seconds. I'm going to drill them a little bit bigger. 11 30-seconds. That way I'll have a little bit of play. Now to get the holes right on, that way my holes won't be right on, and it'll still accept it. Alright. Just a minute, guys. I gotta find my oil can. I want to dull in that bit too much. Okay, the motor reinstalled, and I got the bolts all tightened up. Checking my alignment, looks pretty good. I should clean this clutch surface up with some sandpaper, and I think I'm going to do that before I put my belt back on. With that like that, I should have enough. That might be even too loose. No idea. Not sure. T-Man Go-Karts couldn't tell me how tight it was supposed to be. I think that's probably pretty good. I don't want it rubbing on here too tight, like my last belt. Chews it all to hell real fast. Now, this thing says, Briggs & Stratton right on it, on this label anyway. It says fresh start on the gas cap, but it says fill to mark on dipstick. Well, this thing doesn't have a dipstick. The oil fill, there's no dipstick in there, and there's none back here. So now I know there used to be a mark in here where you used to have to, you could fill it, but I'm not sure where it is. Maybe one of you can tell me. Is it just supposed to be filled to the bottom of that or to the top of that? I'm not 100% positive. So if one of you guys could tell me, I'd appreciate it. Now the only thing left to do for a test romp, it's getting kind of dark here, I probably won't get to do a test romp tonight, is hook my throttle up, which may be a little bit tricky because it's got to come from this side. I may need to get another short throttle cable. This one looks a bit short, if you know what I mean. It used to come on that side of the other engine. Okay. Okay, I need to put this throttle cable through the small hole on the throttle plate, or whatever you want to call that. The cable end's frayed, so I'm going to use a grinder. This happens to be an air grinder, but the U side cutter is going to flatten it out, so you want a nice clean cut. I lost my air pressure. Yay! I didn't quite get it what I want. And it frayed it again. Oh well, let's see what we can do. I may have to drill it. I'll show you what I mean. I got the gas tank off. Holes in there. I don't think it's gonna fit, so I'll have to leave this for another night. And I'm gonna have to drill that one out right there. Sorry about the poor footage, guys. Okay, it's now Wednesday night. We've got the throttle all hooked up. This will be the first start for this, so turn the choke on, turn the fuel on, give that a second to drain down into the carburetor, Now I put oil in it, I filled it up till it come running out of the bottom plug. I'm not sure if that's how. You guys let me know. Okay, let's see if she starts. Other than me hooking the throttle up on the wrong side of the governor, it works good. Yeah, well, let's correct that and then we'll get right back at you guys. That spring shouldn't be there. It's on the wrong side. I'll explain. Okay, so this thing isn't set up for a go-kart. Let me shut my fuel off here first. I'll show you. Now, just looking at this setup, the spring on this side, I thought you had to pull the throttle this way. But no, that works the opposite. This thing's not set up for a go-kart. This thing's set up for something totally different. So I need to take this spring off and probably put it back here somewhere so it'll pull it to idle. Or get a bigger spring, put it from here to here. So I'll pull that off idle, or onto idle, and then I'll have to move my throttle up into here somewhere so I can, and probably hook it here. So it'll be like rum, rum, rum. That spring is on the wrong side. So if you guys get into this, anybody out there has the same problem, this is what you do. Take this spring off here. I'm going to put a big spring on this side and back into here somewhere, and I just happen to have the right spring, I think. That way, and I move my throttle on this side, make it come into here instead. Maybe use this hole to pull it. Don't know yet. Get back to that, you guys. Now they got the kids occupied. I should be able to work on Tankenstein more often. I gotta find a couple helmets first though. Okay guys, hope you like that. Now back with that project out of the way, now we're back to the main menu.